Let's get this merch. Subscribe to the PDH Network. Alright, y'all see what we got going on here today. As y'all see the thumbnail, y'all read the title under the thumbnail. Yeah, man, today's video is dealing with the paper art artists and their ops. So we already know that CEO Tezzy, he got sent up the other night. And the streets is talking behind this whole CEO Tezzy setup. Because you got some folks saying it could be somebody that's affiliated to Trulla that actually sent up CEO Tezzy. And I'm going to break down how that could be a possibility, knowing that young Dolph, he was actually cool with some Trulla guys. But at the same time, you still got some folks saying it's the paper route affiliates that's behind taking out CEO Tezzy. And CEO Tezzy's wife, she's one of the people that's blaming the paper route affiliates for taking out Joshua Taylor, aka CEO Tezzy. And she's upset because she feels like she knows who's behind this. And that's the reason why I stated it wasn't a good idea for Kenny Money to pull up to the ops hood looking for him. So now you got CEO Tezzy's wife, she's saying that Kenny Money affiliates took him out and left him in his car with shells everywhere. And it was also reported that CEO Tezzy, he wasn't found until the next day. So like I stated, that's the reason why CEO Tezzy's wife is pressing the issue on Kenny Money and the different paper route affiliates. Because again, Kenny Money, he did post that video on social media of him and his guys pulling up to Orange Mound looking for their ops. And like I told y'all before, that wasn't a good idea. If you're gonna do it without leaving a trail of evidence. Because again, that video you posted on social media, what you think the Alphabet Boys gonna look at? And whether you know it or not, Kenny Money, you just gave them people probable cause to go and knock on you and your homeboy doors. But like I told y'all before, a lot of these dudes, they can't do anything without posting it on social media to let the world know what they just got into. But we all know all that's gonna do is come back to them. Because all they gonna do is put it right in your face and say, do you remember this day? And how can you deny that when that's you on camera? So yeah, you got some folks saying the reason why CEO Tezzy got sent up is because of his affiliation to Trulla and Straight Drop. We all know that Straight Drop is the one they say allegedly sent up young Dolph. Now with your Marcus, whom his Straight Drop brother admitted that Straight Drop was the one that upped the burner on young Dolph and sent him up in Makitas. So with that, you got CEO Tezzy's wife, she on social media going in on everybody that's affiliated to Paper Route, talking about they gonna get theirs. I understand where she coming from. I want to say condolences to her and her family for CEO Tezzy being sent up. But at the same time, you still got some folks saying he got what he deserved. And I understand where they coming from. And that's, you got to be aware of the consequences that come with living a certain lifestyle. So the best thing for her is to do is to get out of Dodge. You got to move on because these guys ain't playing out here. And I don't think she understands that. Basically, CEO Tezzy, he placed a target on his own back when he and Straight Drop will snatch the different paper route affiliates chains and post it on social media, trying to make a mockery out of paper route, but it never worked. And this is one of the reasons why CEO Tezzy was named a suspect in young Dolph's setup from the beginning. Again, because of CEO Tezzy's affiliation with Trulla, not to mention his close ties with Straight Drop. Plus, y'all can't forget about the other guys, Who Mish, JoJo Splat, and OG Bang Wang, who took pics wearing paper route chains. They were also named suspects in this whole young Dolph case. So when young Dolph got deleted, it was reported that Straight Drop, whom used to be best friends with Keylock, and Lil Migo cousin Cornelius Smith were the guys who allegedly hopped out the white Benz spraying shells at the cookie shop, taking out young Dolph. So since that day of November the 17th, 2021, anybody associated with Straight Drop was gonna get the business. And now we're seeing it all play out, and the summertime haven't really began yet. You got some folks in Memphis saying when young Dolph got sent up, it resulted in someone sliding on CEO Tezzy. That all this back and forth is not really between PRE and CMG affiliates, but this is some unresolved conflict activated between Trulla and the Double R guys. So with that, the folks in Memphis already know that a lot of Double R affiliates was actually cool with young Dolph and the Pepper Out artists. But the guys that side with Trulla are mostly tight with CMG, even though there are some guys a part of Trulla that was cool with Young Dolph. Because Young Dolph, he was giving them young dudes the opportunity to get on legally through the music industry. So some of those guys on Trulla couldn't hate on Young Dolph moves because they seen how many young dudes Young Dolph was putting on, turning these young guys into thousandaires, soon to be millionaires, which made them respect Young Dolph even more. Now on the flip side, you have some guys a part of Trulla that didn't respect Young Dolph, and that's only because of their tight affiliation with Trulla through Black Youngsters Heavy Camp. So with that being said, every time PRE and CMG have an issue, that it's really between Trulla and R.I.P affiliates having a back and forth. Now they say Trulla and R.I.P been had it out for one another way before Young Dolph got sent up. Again, when it was reported some guys affiliated with Trulla had their hands in taking out Young Dolph, the whole city went up. I'm telling y'all, when the pics came out that it was straight drop a Trulla member who infiltrated Pepper Out to watch Young Dolph moves, the folks already knew that Yo Gotti and Big Jook was behind that. But some folks in Memphis, they felt that straight drop, he had to be brave or just plain goofy to infiltrate Young Dolph and take him out. Even though the Scorpion unit hit the real camera footage, the story goes Straight Drop and Cornelius Smith allegedly trailed Young Dolph until they got to the cookie shop, hopped out the white Benz, spraying shells everywhere. And y'all mean to tell me the only person that got hit out of 5 people was Young Dolph? Again, man, it don't make sense. But it's real. Y'all see everybody who had their hands in taking out Young Dolph, their day is coming. And like I said, either they gonna be locked up or sent up. And that's just the way it go. Especially somebody like Young Dolph, who folks had a lot of love for. But with that, let's pay our respects and say rest in peace to Young Dolph, condolences to his family, and much love to all my folks in Dolph land. And I know my folks in Dolph land, they missing a real one. Because Pepper Out Frank, he looked out for those who looked out for themselves. And while that was going on with Young Dolph being set up at the cookie shop, Raven or Pam was nowhere in sight. But you had Maurice in the back of the cookie shop talking about he didn't hear anything. As you guys can see, it's people that assisted in taking out Pepper Out Frank that Young Dolph never had an issue with. But for the right price, folks will go against the grain. And that's what we seeing from Straight Drop, Raven, and everybody they collaborated with to assist in taking out Young Dolph. We already know that Yo Gotti and his brother Big Jook had a bunch of paid pawns in position around them. And right now, the one who admitted to orchestrating the Young Dolph setup, Boom is Govin, he's out on bond. And we already know that Straight Drop brother Jamarcus, he's informing the Alphabet Boys about everybody positioned on Yo Gotti and Big Jook chessboard in order to take out Young Dolph. And with all this going on, now I'm starting to understand Mia J's concept a little more. When she say black men, they deserve to grow old. But in order to do that, we can't always look at one another as enemies, and that's real. So with that, always be aware and always stay prepared. But hey, we got more in store. As always, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it's worth. Let's get this merch. Subscribe to the PDH Network.